Mr. Oisik Das. He is the host he is the host for the seminar today. He will take the event forward. Thank you. So Oisik, you can continue. Hello, Oisik, are you there? Hello. Hello. There's some technical problem with Oisik. His
Okay.
Microsoft Teams. He asked to wait for some time. He will be joining. He is there, but the Teams is rebooting. There's some technical
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
One
Okay.
thing.
Okay. 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 No problem. No issue. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So before starting, I think I should means I am keen to have an interaction session with new students. Actually, means I'm a senior person. Means already means I haven't seen many of the junior students. So I would like to means interact with some of the new students means who are joined this semester.
Uh, uh, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Okay.
so I would just one by one I would just ask the new scholars to introduce them. First, can I request Suraj to introduce himself? Suraj, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
Suraj. Yes.
Hello, hi. Good afternoon, sir. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
myself.
afternoon.
So it's a formal introduction, like my bachelor's, master's, and all these things. I have to share like that.
No, no, just means I don't want in any means your formal introduction. Just tell your name and just what is your interest area research.
Yeah,
That thing actually is enough for me.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Actually, my name is Suraj Kumar. I recently
Okay.
joined in spring semester, and my
Yeah.
research area in agriculture marketing related to like pesticide development and organic farming.
Okay. Okay. Great.
And I
Great.
completed my master's from IIT Kharagpur in food process engineering and my bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Okay. Okay. So you are in kind of a what type of means you are kind of a product development area in the product development
Marketing,
area or
agriculture marketing.
marketing. Okay. 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 Marketing. Okay, that's
Yeah,
nice. Good topic.
thank
Okay, then. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next.
Okay, Suraj. Yeah, thank you, Suraj. Next, Isaac is here, and he's also a new joinee and also our host yeah, for today seminar. So I would like to request Isaac to first introduce himself as Devra sir wants to have an interaction with the new scholars, and after it is over with the new scholars, you can start the seminar, the formal seminar. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
just introduce yourself. Oishik.
Yeah. Hello, Devras sir. My name is
Hi,
Arshika.
Oishik.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm currently in my first year as a PhD research scholar in the
Okay.
RMSOE department. I'm working
Hmm.
on devising like, like a handle device for like distinguishing organic and inorganic food.
Okay, okay. That's interesting. Nice, nice. And next?
Next, can I request Somali?
Hi, hi
Hi.
everyone. Hi Debrah.
Hi.
I'm Shubhali Mitra. I have joined in autumn 2020 session
Yeah.
for Rajendra School for PhD. My area is smart data analysis.
Okay, okay. Thank you. And next?
Actually, if you can open your videos while introducing yourself, it will be very good for everyone. Okay, so next I see Prasant. Prasant,
Hello.
Yes, hello, Prashant. Hi.
Hello, Debra sir.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Prashant.
I am Prasan Kumar Sen. I am just joining in spring semester in PhD in Rajendra Mishra School of Entrepreneurship Department, and also my research area is IoT and signal processing application. And apart from that, I completed my MS from Center for
Hmm.
Education Technology Department, IIT Kharagpur.
Okay, okay, okay. That's good. Then thank you. Next?
next I see Medha Nag.
Meghana. I know Megha. Megha, I think she joined previous semester.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, okay. So,
September 2020.
okay, okay. What is your research area? Yeah.
Actually, I'm working on computer vision and
Okay.
mainly image and video processing, and I have
Okay.
completed my
Video based.
in electrical engineering.
Okay, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Okay. And next?
So next I see Meheres. Meheres, are you here?
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Mahesh. I've just
Hi,
joined.
Mahesh.
Yeah. Hi. I've just joined in January for this PhD program. My research area is corporate governance.
Okay. That's also interesting area. Nice area. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I see now Gulshan. Gulshan is there.
Yes, Ben. Hello.
Hi, Gulshan. Hi, Gulshan.
My name is Gulshan Yadav.
Yeah, yeah.
My area of research is entrepreneurship and sustainability issues. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
next?
Next, I think Neha. Neha is also a new joiner.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening,
Yeah, Neha.
everybody. I am Neha Singh. I joined the RMSO department in autumn 2020, and my research area is agriculture supply chain.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
I think we are done with the new joinee.
Okay. 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 Okay.
If I miss someone, I request them to please introduce themselves. If I miss someone, is there anyone? Okay, so I think it's done.
Okay.
Now I would
Okay.
request Oisik to start with the today's event. So Oisik, it's off to you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the second week of our RMSOE seminar event, where our school research scholars and alumni present the interesting topics and provide insight into the vision for the future. Last week, we had Dr. Muhammad Zuhair, where he helped break down some of the common misconceptions of the PhD research journey and demystify the enigma surrounding the topic. Today, we are joined by Mr. Debraz Bhattacharjee, who is a doctoral research scholar at RMSOE 2015 batch from IIT Kharagpur. He is currently pursuing research on power management strategy with powertrain optimization, which can be used in eco-designing of plug-in hybrid vehicles. He obtained his MTech degree in industrial engineering and management and BTech degree in electronics and communication engineering, both from Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad University of Technology, one of India's premier engineering institutes. He has also authored several research papers in some of the most reputed journals and conferences. Mr. Devraj Bhattacharjee will be presenting on electrification of Indian roads, its prospects and challenges. the traffic which will attract all those electric car bikes into it, especially the Tesla one. Before we can buy any electric vehicle, we need to make sure the proper infrastructure has been built to sustain this idea. India's fledgling EV market accounted for just 5,000 of a total of 2.4 million cars sold in the country last year. As negligible charging infrastructure and high cost of EVs deterred buyers. I'm sure we'll have our questions answered today on what we can do to address the problems faced by this technology and what can be done to adopt it faster. Before we start, I would like to let everyone know that if any audience has a question at any point in the presentation, they are welcome to ask them in the chat box. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Devraj Satapathy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this nice introduction. Hello all. So before starting, I have a question to everyone. Do you think electric vehicles are future of this transportation sector? Hello.
I would take
Hello.
electric vehicles as hydrogen powered vehicles.
Yeah.
It's fuel cell. Electric vehicles.
Fuel.
So we
Okay.
can't go if you are looking for future, we can't look future with the diesel or petrol, because in the future there is limitation of the resources and the rising cost of the fuels has a major concern, and it is not only affecting in transport sector. The rising cost of fuels are hampering the Indian economy too, because whenever the cost is increasing, we are importing the fuels and these things from Gulf country or other country. So a large crunch of Indian foreign Indian foreign currency is going to the country.
Yes. So taking this point, actually, I'm starting my presentation. So rightly says, actually, the main issue is the oil import, because our country is heavily dependent on the fossil fuel. So means each and every sector, if you think about the electricity generation, or if you think that each and every means the transportation sector, they are all heavily dependent on this fossil fuel. So what is the effect of this fossil fuel on the transportation sector? Before that, you have to know about what is the current status of the transportation sector, or what are the modes of transportation in our Indian roads. So now I am presenting a number. This is the number for registered vehicles per year. Okay, so I got this data from Transport Research Wing, Ministry of Surface Transport. So you can see this from 2001 to 2016 per year registered vehicles number. So you can see the number is huge. It was in 2001 somewhere 54 million. Now that is gone to 230 million per year. So definitely the number of vehicles are increasing, and these data is for the registered vehicle. So you can think the unregistered vehicle. So if you add up total number of vehicles, that will be very large on the roads. So that is very chaotic. Now from the 2016 data, I have I have distributed the type of vehicles on the road. So means in our common sense, means when we go outside in the road, we basically find this type of vehicles, means cars, bus, which are the passenger vehicles, scooter, and the auto, and the goods, the vehicle for goods. And if we just look at the distribution of these vehicles, number of vehicles, you will find that 73% are the two-wheelers, and in the goods vehicles, means which are basically used for transportation of the goods, that is 5%, and lightweight motor vehicle which are used for passenger carrying is 3%, and other miscellaneous and cars, basically the personal vehicles are basically 11, 1 and 5 means 17%, and 1% of bus and 1% of basic taxi service. Now next, what is the amount of emission from this road transportation? From the IEA data 2020, they have found that 25% of the global CO2 emission comes from the transportation sector. So definitely it is a huge amount of. So if we can reduce this percent, some amount of carbon dioxide emission from the transportation sector, it will happily help to improve the air quality, and also we will, it will help to meet the target for Paris Agreement, that is for the 2030 emission-free transportation system in India. So from means what are the four type of civil aviation, railway, domestic, waterborne and road transportation. If you see the contribution of each type of this kind of transportation mode, then you will find the road transportation have the highest share. It is almost 90%, and this data was recorded in 2014, and here is source. You can check in the internet. You will find this data. Now another issue is the fossil fuel. Already I started on this note that fossil fuel dependent economy. Now a few days back, we found that in Delhi this petrol price is nearly 100. Now it is in some state it crosses the 100 rupees mark. So these are the major problem. So now if this price of fossil fuel increase, then our economy actually destabilize. Means that heavily impact the daily life of people. Actually, it increases the cost of good transportation goods, and the cost for the other transportation. Means if anything that is transported using fossil fuel source based transportation system, then it will definitely impact the entire economy. Now EV have this advantage. They don't have this problem of emission. They don't need this oil, and also it is fuel efficient. As you know that a motor, electric motor, is 85% or above efficient, while a combustion engine, IC engine, is nearly, means if you found the best IC engine, that will be nearly 40% efficient. So definitely there is a huge difference between these two types of power source. So that's why we choose this motor. It will be a better source. Now in general, we found in the road this two type of electric mode, e-rickshaw and e-bike, and these are the most popular transportation mode which are currently using the electric power. And some of the four-wheelers, passenger cars, those are manufactured by big companies, but they are costly. So now Indian government actually wants to implement or adopt this electric transportation in their roads. So they have launched this FAME scheme, or fast adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicle, and by the Ministry of Heavy Industry. And they wants to emphasize on the four area: technology development, and for that you need the demand for the electric vehicle, and for some pilot project they are ready to fund, and development of charging infrastructure. Now this FAME was initially started on 2015 and plan to continue up to 31st March 2019. That was phase one. In that phase one, government heavily subsidized the EVs, HEVs, and in phase two, they actually increase the subsidy, and they have emphasized on the other e-transportation modes like e-rickshaw, three-wheelers, and two-wheelers. So if you think that what is the effect of this for implementation of FAIR, that will actually you will find that in next couple of 2 to 3 years. And here a graph. Actually, this data is taken from Bloomberg. The EV passengers cars sold in India during 11 to 17. You can clearly found a surge in the number of sold vehicle during this 10 years of 2015 to 17. In this time duration, actually FAME was launched. So definitely the government scheme has some impact on the EV sales. Now, and during that time, some of the startups came up: Ethar Energy, Yulu, Battery, Ultra Volt, and Okawa, and Torque Motors. These are the well-known startups, and you can find the data. What are the number of sold vehicles? Those are registered in the Department of Heavy Industry, and this is the real-time data. You can check this right now in your in the internet in your PC. Now the major issue is the number of sales. You can find that started 2015 and now it is 2021. So number of sales is 58,255. Now in entire India, the number of vehicles are huge. So in that means nearly you find that in 2016 the number of registered vehicle was 30 million. So in terms of, in comparison to that, this 58,255 is very less. So why people are not adopting, or why they are not buying electric vehicles? So, and hyperdrive means another Bloomberg news. They have quoted this. India has 150 million drivers, only 8,001 electric cars. So they have found that the problem is Indian sales face the affordability, means the initial price and the charging infrastructure. So government actually, they are started this initiative to build more charging station, and New Delhi have already started. New Delhi government actually started many places where their public charging centers are there. Now, in some of the literature, I find, well, these are the latest literature. You can find this 2020, 21, or means 2 years. And some of the literature review, they found that main challenge is the EV price. Already said, the buying price of it means initial price is higher. Means if you are finding a vehicle with 80 bhp, you will definitely buy a petrol car, because the price of that car is nearly near about 5 lakhs. And if you wants to buy similar power specification EV, it will cost around 10 to 15 lakhs. So people definitely go for this IC engine vehicle, because EV vehicle have their future benefits, but they don't want to spend much money in the initial phase of their initial days. And second is range anxiety. Since these vehicles have battery, still the battery technology is not enough to hold enough charge to go many more kilometers, because the charging infrastructure is not good. So definitely the range is a problem with the present available electric vehicles. This problem can be solved with adequate charging infrastructure. As if there is charging station in every 5 to 10 kilometers, then definitely this problem will be solved. And this problem, this range anxiety problem is solved in many Nordic countries. They have this charging infrastructure every corner on the street. So very less charging infrastructure available in India, and there's customer preference. Customer preference means some of the customers there, each and every means now the situation in the Indian context, the customer is the first generation customer for the electric vehicle. So they do not know what are the pros and cons, what are the maintenance, what are the problems they will face in future with electric vehicles. So they avoid this electric vehicle. They generally takes advice from their friends and their relatives, that and they choose for this IC engine vehicle. And now the main problem with the electric vehicle in present scenario. In present scenario, here I am showing a data for source, means the total installed capacity according to Ministry of Power, our power generation in our country. So these are the source: coal, lignite, gas, diesel. So you will find we actually generate our electricity with using this fossil fuel, mostly using fossil fuel, and the share is 61.5%. On the other hand, the clean energy, that percentage is 38.5%. So definitely, if you are charging from this amount of percentage of share of energy, you will actually helping the GHG emission. So that is another issue, that you are reducing the local emission, but you are actually increasing the global emission. So that effect is cancelling out. Now, in a study, I found that what is the scenario effect, means different. If we test the vehicles in different scenarios, I took this example from Sharma Chandal 2020 paper. So they actually analyze this 3 scenario. In first scenario, 100% of fossil fuel actually used for electricity generation, and second scenario, 50% for fossil use, 50% is used for fossil fuel, and other 50% is generated from the renewable energy. And scenario 3 actually 100% from the renewable energy generation. So the three types of scenario show some interesting result. The use of electric means they, in this scenario, they actually use different type of transportation mode, like bus, car, two-wheelers, and the significant result actually comes from the four-wheelers, means like passenger vehicle, bus, and cars. The use of electric bus increased the CO2 emission by 73%. It is in the first scenario, that is using 100% of fossil fuel for electricity generation, and there got the NOx. This is actually very harmful, nitrox for the human health. Increased by 6.4-fold and 1.7-fold in case of electric car and bus respectively. Another is suspended particulated matter, the PM 2.5, increased by factor of 2.9 and 4.5 times in the case of electric car and bus respectively. So this one is obvious. The 100% of the energy is generated from fossil fuel. Definitely, this will the inevitable effect. So now in the second case, where we are generating the power from the electricity from 50% from fossil and 50% from renewable energy, here you will find that higher NOx emission in the electric car and bus by a factor of 4.5 and 1, means there is no change. So it is quite interesting. You are increasing the renewable energy 50%, still you have 50% in using fossil fuel, still it is increasing the level of NOx. Another also, the PM suspended particulate matter is in the electric car and bus by a factor of 1.7, 3.5. Now, all in the next scenario, as 100% of the energy is clean, the emissions are less. But NOx emission in electric car higher by 1.5 times as compared to respective conventional vehicle, because this additional NOx is coming from the battery. And from this, they actually propose that the government should promote the public transport and shared mobility, discourage the use of private cars, and the next they also suggest that promote renewable source of electricity generation. And in this, from these two things, I would like to go to some website. You will find some real-time data in other global scenario. So if we go to this, is it visible? Hello?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, yes. So just the site is loaded. Give me just 10 to. And I'm showing this graph. Just see this. So what is the global scenario actually, and what is the Indian scenario? Now, see, this is the latest data of 2019 electricity generation. What you see? You see, coal is the main primary source, and petroleum products and liquids. So these are the energy mix of entire country. So you think if we implement the electric vehicle right now, what will happen? Anybody from the audience have any comments on this from this diagram? Anyone? Anybody?
So what's the question?
The question is, from this diagram you are finding the energy mix of Indian scenario. The India, whatever the energy is generated from, like they are consuming the energy, they are mostly coming from the coal, petroleum. So right now, if we implement this electric vehicle, so what will be the effect of that? Means, is it favorable?
The use of petrol will reduce first.
But you are generating the energy, means once you actually reduce the use of. Yes.
So the electric vehicles means they need the electricity from somewhere.
Yes.
So mostly that is battery or something. So they need to get recharged. We need
Yes.
this electricity generation.
Yes. So means right now we are not generating the energy from the renewable energy sources. Okay. So definitely that power we are taking from the grid to charge the battery, that is coming from the fossil fuel. So indirectly you are just contributing to the greenhouse gas emission. So now my point is that this energy mix should be changed. So once this energy mix is changed, and in the presentation I also in the previous slide that there's 3 scenarios, the energy mix. So the implementation of electric vehicle actually heavily dependent on this energy generation. So that is the issue, main issue in our country. So you can see it as a barrier, and one side of the coin you are trying to reduce the emission, and you are trying to fulfill the Paris Agreement. You want to reduce the emission from the road transportation, and another side of the coin, you are actually indirectly increasing the emission. So that is my point. And another data, see this graph, actually this is showing the increasing trend in the number of EVs. So these are the countries. You'll see the China, Europe. Now, what is this implementation of EV only helps to those countries who are generating the clean energy. So for a country like developing country like India, Brazil, or the African nations, they don't have this kind of facility for generating 100%. So still, in my view, still there, India needs 20 years to actually improve its actually transform its entire transportation system into a what I can say, the electrified transportation system. So there is a definitely a problem. So the government should rapidly improve the infrastructure for charging and also the electricity generation. So based on previous above slides, I can conclude that the price of the electric passenger vehicle should be reduced, and the government should continue the subsidy on the electric vehicle. Charging infrastructure should be built. Government should promote EVs for public transportation. The only way to make the electric vehicle beneficiary for the environment by producing electricity using clean energy source, mainly renewable energy sources. Now, if you just find this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, so definitely you need some kind of roadmap to achieve all these things. Now, the price of the electric vehicle should be reduced. That can be only done by designing indigenous vehicles. Means the government is promoting the Atmanirbhar Bharat, so they should the more and more startups should come to design the 4-wheelers or the trucks, bus like Tesla. Just Tesla is, means if you ask a common man in India, they will never buy a Tesla because means that much of price is too much. The price, whatever the cost of the vehicle, some of the people, they don't seen that much of money in their entire life. So that is a main issue. So our indigenous design, so here technology development, tech development. So in this tech development, 2 things: battery and vehicle design. Also for this vehicle design, the components, these are actually required, and the government should continue the subsidy. The subsidies actually should be at least for the next 20 years, should be there. And charging infrastructure, government is already working on this point, and government and promote, means different schemes should be there, and for the government sector, or they should promote that if you are buying EV, then we will give you some kind of subsidy. Like the bank actually, some of the bank actually give the amount of rupees for the petrol, buying for petrol, that much, that kind of benefit, that to promote the EVs. And this renewable energy, this is actually government is trying to promote the renewable energy resources, but the pace is very low, so that should be improved. So I think in my point of view, these are the solutions for the implementation. Or another is the startup for this shared vehicle, means kind of Ola or Uber. They are using this petrol car. So some kind of startup should be there who are using this electric vehicle. And I think already Ola actually started that, but that is not scaled in the entire nationwide. But I think in future it will gain some of the momentum, and you will find this kind of startup in India, many more startups. So thank you. This was up to my presentation. Now the questions. Hello.
So now we will move on to the audience for the Q&A session. Those who want to ask questions, please raise your hand, and one by one you'll be given the chance to ask questions. And I know there are a few questions on the chat box. There are a few questions over there. So we can start.
Okay. Okay. So, go to the chat box. Just stop the sharing.
Kaushik, if you can read out
Hello?
the questions one by one, it would be easier for Devraj to answer, I believe.
Hello.
The question from is asking, can you please explain the rent angle?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. So I think there's some my problem. Could I request Somali to ask her question? She has asked some questions. Somali.
Yes, I asked, first question I asked was, what is the range anxiety?
Hello. I see there's some network problem, most likely in his.
Yes.
Hello.
So let's wait. He will rejoin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes. So
yeah, he's here. Devraj. Somali, continue.
Hello. So start from because I was disconnected. Okay.
I was asking that, can you please explain the range anxiety again?
Okay. Range anxiety means the term has two parts. Means range and anxiety. Means electric vehicle have some range. Means once you fully charge your vehicle, so it will go up to some distance. So that is means that is the range of the vehicle. Now anxiety, with people think that okay, I will go a certain distance, then if I don't have any charging station, then what will happen? So this kind of anxiety actually created in the mind of customers. So and after that actually they actually avoid this buying of this electric vehicle. So that's why this term is called range anxiety. Hello.
I understand that. Hello?
Okay.
Yes.
So
and
now
the next thing, the
yes.
Indian road is ready for the, Indian road conditions are not very good. So can electric vehicles go good in Indian road?
There is no relationship between this road condition and your type of vehicle. Actually, those things are means applicable for the luxury cars where the suspension is too low. That bumpy road will means destroy or affect the suspension system. In case of any kind of surface, the electric vehicle can go. So there is no problem with road condition. Hello.
Hello, Devraj sir. This is Aftab.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So I had a question. I think it is already answered while answering the other question about the infrastructure of our country. Is it
Yes.
ready? Because I don't find any
No.
charging stations.
Still, it is not ready. Still, it is not ready because they actually, the government actually, some of the government actually started development of infrastructure. So in Kolkata, you will find only the bus terminus. Kolkata bus terminus have this charging infrastructure where some of the electric buses are used. Means they are owned by government, so they only charge this, and whatever the charging infrastructure is available, they are private. Means Tata have established some of their charging stations only for their own vehicles, and some of vehicle owners, they have established in their home. So the domestic charging infrastructure is somehow it is on the in the middle stage. Means they are building, but the public charging infrastructure is not still ready. So definitely there is a problem, and I think that will take at least 10 years. So if you go to any European country, especially in the northern Europe, you will find everywhere, means hardly in 1 kilometer apart they actually have these charging stations. So for that, I think India is now at least 10 to 20 years behind of those countries.
Okay, Devraj sir. Thank you. I have just one more. I
Okay.
have yeah. Yes, Somali, continue.
So I was asking the speed of the electric vehicles are much less than the conventional vehicles, I mean petrol.
No. That is not. Actually, if you have high-end motor, you will get similar amount of speed from an electric vehicle also. So why you are asking this question, I know, because most of the available vehicles on the street have the lower specification of power. So they have this speed limitation. That's why, because the manufacturers, they wants to actually manufacture low-cost vehicles. So that's why they compromise on the speed. But if you find the vehicles already available vehicles in other countries, the speed is similar to the normal conventional IC engine driven vehicles. So speed is not a problem with that sense. Hello.
Yes.
Ashik? Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. So I think we have answered all the questions available right now. Has any faculty joined us today? No.
Hello.
Yeah. So, yeah. Any faculty has joined us today?
No, there are no faculties.
So I'll just provide some final words. I would request Jagat sir to share some final words with us on future plans of the PhD competition and how he intends to apply his knowledge and technical know-how in helping India fight to making sure we are on the road to becoming carbon neutral going ahead in the future.
Okay, so Can you repeat that? I think the voice was breaking. Can you repeat?
Sure.
Sorry.
So I would request you to share some final words with us on your future plans after PhD conclusion, like how you intend to apply knowledge, technical know.
Okay. So right now, actually, I am focusing on my research. Actually, this research, I want to continue with my electric powertrain. I have done my research on hybrid electric vehicle powertrain optimization and control design. So I would be very happy. I will be very happy to work on this in full electric vehicle, and some of the beautiful means this area is very new and emerging. So I will get ample data or ample opportunity in doing research. So the primary focus is postdoc, and then postdoc after that, I want to research on this transportation sector, means on Indian roads, how we can improve the Indian transportation systems, and most of the papers actually of might be in the during the PhD, and from my thesis also regarding these issues. So, and other thing is other area is the for my future works is this accident, to mitigate the accident, means ADAS. I think most of the people heard about this ADAS, means advanced driving assistance system. So that is another area for my future research.
Okay. Thank you, Devaskar, for taking your time for this talk and sharing with us your knowledge. After this seminar, I'm confident that the research scholars will have a better idea about the future prospects going ahead in this field of work. We wish you all the success in your future endeavors. Hope that you give us the pleasure to invite you again with some other talk. Thank you, sir.
I think some of I do not know how many people actually like this research area or the topic. Still, based on this, these were the simple or means a kind of a small representation of the research. So if someone is interested, they are feel free to contact me. I will definitely help them in the future research or their research related to this topic. If they are either interested for this road transportation research, I will be very happy to help them. And thank you for inviting me in this talk. I am highly obliged to you, means all the juniors. Means last 1 year I am at home. Means I actually came here in last April, so now it is March, so almost 1 year. Most of the juniors actually know me. They don't know my face also. So I think, thank you for this seminar. Thanks for the invitation. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Devarda, 1 minute. Animirda, can you take a snap for our Facebook or Instagram?
I would request everyone to open their cameras so that we can have a photo. So is it done, Suraj?
Actually, I'm opening from my desk.
अपना रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दीजिए.
ठीक है.
Someone else take the picture.